can you share on behalf of the Pan-African Parliament what was the key summary of today with the engagements of lifting sanctions against Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. Today we have been honored to receive the Deputy Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs from Zimbabwe to brief the committee on international cooperation, conflict resolution, on the nature, character, and effects of sanctions on Zimbabwe imposed by the United States of America and the EU, mainly European Union. But the whole issue started in October 2019 when one of the members of parliament from South Africa, who is a member of PAP, moved a motion, Honorable Pemi, moved a motion calling on Pan-African Parliament to call for the lifting of sanctions by the Western countries on Zimbabwe. The motion was debated, and then we resolved that this matter needs to continue to even higher dimensions. So we then agreed that when we meet during the May session 2020, this matter will come back on the order paper and then represented by the Zimbabwe government again, so that we give an opportunity to the whole parliament, all the members that would want to debate. That should culminate into recommendations and resolutions that will then be pursued beyond May in various directions, various dimensions, including missions to the European Union, missions to the United States of America, missions to even the UN itself. So as a process, following that motion, and as we now move to May, in terms of processes, the matter is presented to the relevant committee, the one on cooperation and conflict resolution. And that's why today the minister is here and has presented to that committee. The committee is now seized with the issue as an agenda item for the May session. So expect great debates on the continent, and you being the media, we invite you to this great day, which I believe will be either on the 2nd or 3rd of May. Put it in your diary. There will be a great debate that day by Africa, represented by the members of parliament from all the countries on the continent on the issue of sanctions in Zimbabwe. So we look forward to even a bigger crew of the media on that day. Thank you very much.
Do you have any questions? Yes. Honourable Vice President, just moving away from Zimbabwe, looking at the broader picture of what we're seeing today with the permanent committees that are sitting, perhaps you could tell us why they're important and how they feed into the session that we're going to see that's coming in May, and why they should be taken seriously.
Any parliament in the world, for it to achieve its objectives and be seen to be achieving any results, it is done through committees first. Because committees now are specific groups of parliamentarians who sit and dissect, interrogate issues. In this case, for Pan-African Parliament, issues affecting the continent, from peace and security on the continent. Issues to do with talks, how far we have gone in South Sudan to ensure that now there is peace. That we now have a unity government in South Sudan. But what are the issues? DRC issues, that's peace and security. What are the issues about health, including our possible cases of coronavirus? I'm just saying the most recent case, but I'm talking of all the whole broad issues about health on the continent, infrastructure on the continent, issues of trade, and in this case, the whole issue of our agreed continental free trade area for the continent. And we look at issues of human rights and democracy, elections. It's another opportunity. So the committees discuss in detail anything you can imagine about the continent, whether it's agriculture. And then they prepare, they research, they visit sites They visit countries in missions. They get the facts on the continent. So now they are meeting to say, these are the facts. They structure them properly into reports. Then in May, which is the main session, each committee presents to the plenary, to the whole parliament. Then we debate further their own findings. And then we come to an agreement as to what we should recommend or do as a parliament. When we recommend or resolve, we then present these matters to the summit, the Assembly of Heads of State, wherever they meet, whether it's in Addis or elsewhere. We are given space in their program, Pan-African Parliament space. So we also inform them and call upon them to take certain actions. And indeed, a number of our recommendations have been taken on board. But we don't only recommend and resolve to take matters to the heads of state. In the interim between summits, we are also active on the ground. We pursue some of those matters directly by sending missions again, whether we can also write to a particular country as a continental parliament and say we express these views. We engage with the national parliaments. We engage with the regional parliaments and the regional grouping like SADC, EALA, ECOWAS. For now, this year, for example, we have topical issues. The AU has declared this year the year of silencing the guns to ensure a conducive environment for development for the continent. So as a parliament, our role, once that declaration is made, ours is now to popularize as a parliament, because Article 12 of the protocol establishing Pan-African Parliament says one of our key roles is to ensure the participation of African citizens in all the initiatives and development programs of the continent. So our role is to take this matter of silencing the guns to regional and national parliaments and to the grassroots communities in the rural areas so they understand what this means. Last year, as you are aware, we had the theme on refugees. We first hosted a big international conference here where we even called the refugees, mainly from South Africa. They were in our chamber. They also expressed their own views on this whole issue of asylum seekers, how refugees are being treated in various countries. Then our committees went out to various destinations on the continent to push this agenda. So those are just two examples I can give, but we have several. Continental Free Trade Area, we are pushing very much on that one as a parliament so that member states move ahead quickly. And that doesn't become one of those declarations which just documents lie in the offices, yes.